In the coalfields of Appalachia, the miners at Salvia Mine No. 9 face their daily peril 2 miles underground. Their camaraderie is built on shared trials, but the mine is teetering on the edge of disaster. High methane levels, leaking water, and inadequately functioning safety systems create a treacherous environment. Despite these dangers, the miners decide to work, driven by economic necessity. As the film opens, a palpable sense of foreboding arises. Experienced miner Zeke tries to persuade his colleagues to reconsider their decision, fearing that their continued work underground could lead to tragedy. Alongside him, John expresses similar concerns, but the majority, including Zeke's audacious brother Kenny and fellow miner Smitty, prioritize their earnings over their safety, insisting, "We gotta eat." Young Ryan, Kenny's son and an inexperienced newcomer, is determined to join the crew despite Zeke's warnings. Interwoven with their underground life, scenes at home reveal the miners' struggles with family dynamics. The community is tight-knit yet burdened by dependence on coal mining with limited options for a sustainable future. Ryan experiences a poignant moment with his girlfriend, who wishes he would choose a safer path, but he feels duty-bound to follow the family tradition. The workday begins predictably, with the miners engaged in tasks like roof bolting and coal cutting. Ryan learns essential escape routes and survival skills, including information about the grim refuge cache, which the veterans jokingly refer to as the safety coffin. The laughter and camaraderie abound, an undercurrent of anxiety exists, fueled by their awareness of deteriorating mine conditions. The tension culminates in disaster when a methane pocket ignites, leading to a catastrophic explosion that collapses portions of the mine, resulting in immediate fatalities. Chaos ensues as dust, flames, and debris fill the air, severing communication and injuring some miners. The survivors Zeke, Kenny, John, Ryan, Daniel, and others find themselves trapped in darkness and confusion, forced to assess their dire situation. As panic escalates, the miners grapple with the grim reality of their predicament. The refuge cache is rendered inaccessible, and with oxygen depleting, they confront the encroaching threats of toxic gas, fire, and rising water from flooded lower tunnels. Their only hope lies in navigating the hazardous passage toward the North Main escape route, praying it remains intact as they seek a way out of their imminent danger. While the mine manager Teresa is informed about an explosion at the site, she quickly contacts the Mine Safety and Health Administration, MSHA, for assistance. However, the bureaucratic hurdles and insufficient emergency resources significantly delay any rescue efforts. With no formal mine rescue team available and the foreman unwell, Teresa is compelled to take charge of the situation herself, as every moment counts. Below ground, the trapped miners stumble upon the deceased body of Tiny among other fallen comrades. They scavenged lights, masks, tools, and oxygen tanks from the dead to aid those still living. In a somber acknowledgement of their losses, Zeke leads the crew in makeshift prayers while they prepare for the struggles ahead. Among them, they find Daniel, who is gravely injured, pinned under rubble with severe bleeding. In a heart-wrenching plea, he asks his fellow miners to amputate his trapped arm so he can escape and reach help. After much hesitation, they consent, and Daniel disappears into the darkness, clutching their final hope for survival. As the remaining crew makes their way toward the North Main section of the mine, they grapple with crippling exhaustion, grief, and rapidly depleting air supplies. In a desperate attempt to protect themselves from toxic fumes, they create a curtain and begin pounding on roof plates to signal for rescue, crying out 1 hour of air to remind one another of their limited time. In their disorientation, hallucinations begin to blur their perceptions of reality, intensifying their struggle against the psychological effects of methane exposure. Above ground, Teresa continues to advocate passionately for permission from MSHA officials to form a rescue team to enter the mine. Despite being ordered to stand down, she doesn't relent. Rallying a few volunteers and retrieving dynamite, they set out to follow the communication line into the depths, learning of a cave-in blocking the North Main terminal. The only way forward is to blast through the obstruction. As the miners, now in a state of near unconsciousness, prepare themselves for what could potentially be their last moments, they face one final wall that must be broken to secure their survival. Teresa and her makeshift team plant and detonate the dynamite, unleashing an explosion that sends light streaming into the mine. Slowly, the survivors are extracted, bloodied and battered. Tragically, not everyone makes it out alive. John sacrifices himself for the sake of the others. The last to be rescued are Kenny and Ryan, leaving only a handful to emerge from the oppressive darkness of the mine, a stark reminder of the peril they faced. In a poignant depiction of life in Appalachian coal mining, Mine 9 begins with the unsettling aura of a folk song, evoking the grim realities that the miners face each day. Deep within the Salvia coal mine, tension hangs heavy as workers feel the equipment trembling under stress and the hazardous rise of methane levels, prompting urgent warnings to shut down electrical systems. The miners scramble to create a wind curtain, their swift actions reflecting the perilous nature of their occupation. As the atmosphere grows increasingly fraught, the miners gather to discuss the mine's worsening conditions. Experienced miner Zeke voices his concern that they are working in a death trap. Alongside him, John emphasizes the dangerous spikes in methane and escalating water issues. However, the desire to provide for their families weighs heavy on their decision-making. Kenny, Zeke's adamant brother, and Smitty counter with votes to continue mining, making an emotional plea for the necessity of work, which ultimately leads the group to return to the depths despite the grave warnings issued. The narrative delves into the personal lives of the miners, notably focusing on Zeke's protective instincts toward his young nephew Ryan, who is set to venture into the mine for the first time. Despite Zeke's objections, Kenny pressures Ryan to uphold family traditions and join them underground. The tension escalates as Ryan's girlfriend attempts to persuade him to reconsider, but the expectation of family loyalty prevails. Inside the mine, veteran miners attempt to educate Ryan, teaching him about the dangers, including methane pockets and escape routes. They introduce him to the refuge cache, ominously termed the safety coffin due to its shape and the grim implications it carries. Amidst discussions of past disasters and eerie legends, a sense of camaraderie surfaces, humor interspersing the heavy atmosphere. Yet there remains an underlying anxiety that none can escape. As the film progresses, the narrative leads to a climactic moment, a convergence of celebration and mourning as the community unites for Russell's 10th birthday. This gathering serves to honor both the living and the memory of those lost in mining accidents. Interviews with real-life coal miners at the film's conclusion impart a powerful reminder about the nature of coal mining. It transcends being merely a profession. It is a profound source of identity, pride, and a constant reminder of the inherent risks. The film encapsulates the emotional weight of this hazardous vocation, underscoring its impact on the miners, their families, and their community. To navigate through the treacherous tunnels. As they traverse deeper into the mine's vast darkness, the air becomes increasingly rancid, filled with the scent of burnt coal and desperation. Each step weighs heavily, not just from the physical toll but from the mental strain of the impending dread that lingers ever closer. While the group moves forward, every sound amplifies the tension. The echoes of their footsteps are accompanied by the constant drip of water, a reminder that time is running out. The survivors forge ahead, driven by the flickering hope that they might yet find a way to safety, but their resolve is tested at every turn. Zeke takes on a leadership role, urging the group to stay focused and motivated despite their circumstances, while Kenny works to support Daniel's injury, guilt-ridden but resolved to help. Back on the surface, Teresa's determination reaches a fever pitch as she works tirelessly to thwart bureaucratic delays. She gathers makeshift rescue resources, including tools and supplies, and heads toward the mine entrance, where the weight of her responsibility lies heavily upon her shoulders. She knows the clock is ticking and every moment counts in the fight for her crew's lives. In the dark bowels of the mine, Zeke leads a small search party, hoping to locate Daniel, who has gone off to seek the phone. The further they venture, the more alien and foreboding their surroundings become. The once familiar shafts and tunnels now feel like a labyrinth of danger. After what feels like an eternity, they stumble upon Daniel, but their reunion is haunted by despair. Despite the grim circumstances, he remains focused, urging them to press on and find an exit. As they navigate the debris-strewn pathways, eventually they hear a distant sound, the faint but persistent hum of machinery. It grows louder as they approach, igniting a flicker of hope in their hearts. With renewed vigor, they close in on the noise, hoping it may indicate a way out or a semblance of safety. However, their meager supplies are dwindling and the air grows thinner by the minute. The group grapples with maintaining morale amid the swirling chaos and uncertainty. They cling to the only lifeline they have, the resolve to endure, to fight, and to survive, driven by the belief that help will come, that they are not lost yet. Zeke encourages every member of the crew to press on, reinforcing the bond born of their ordeal. Together they summon the strength to confront the mine's deadly embrace, each step a testament to their will to survive against overwhelming odds. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.